There is a time for everything under heaven, a time to sow, a time to reap, a time to wait, and a time to act, and no matter how hard you try to control the hour or manipulate the outcome, there's a divine order, a rhythm beyond your understanding, governing the events of your life. You may not see it right now. You may be standing in a storm, wondering if the clouds will ever part. But hear me when I tell you at the right time, God will make it happen, not on your clock, not according to your calendar, but at the right time. And if you can train your mind to believe that, if you can condition your soul to trust in it, then what now feels like delay will transform into destiny. You see, the greatest mistake people make in the pursuit of their dream is impatience. They give up 1 second before their breakthrough. They quit when the pressure gets intense, not realizing that pressure is a sign that delivery is near. Diamonds are not formed without pressure. Babies are not born without labor. And your purpose, your greatness, your calling will not manifest without a season of testing and waiting. But the wait is not wasted. Every second is preparation. Every moment is part of the molding. Every delay is divine. That detour you resented may be the very road God is using to take you where you were meant to be all along. But you must believe that. You must act as though every closed door is a redirection, not a rejection. Because when the time is right, when you are ready, and when the circumstances have aligned, it will happen, and it will happen quickly. Opportunities you've been praying for will fall into place with speed. The things that once felt impossible will suddenly feel effortless. But here is the key: you must not lose faith while you wait. You must not allow doubt to infect your belief, because God does not work on doubt. He responds to faith, persistent, unreasonable, relentless faith, the kind of faith that keeps working when no one's watching, the kind of faith that shows up even when it's hard, the kind of faith that builds when the world says, tear it down. If you have that kind of faith, then you are walking in step with destiny, even if your reality doesn't look like it yet. Let me remind you, there is no such thing as overnight success. There is only long nights, quiet sacrifice, and consistency that no one sees. There is persistence in secret before promotion in public. You must be willing to serve in silence before God blesses you in front of others. And when He does, when He says, now is the time, there is not a force in hell or on earth that can stop it. But until that moment comes, you must discipline your mind. Do not complain. Do not compare. Do not become anxious about other people's timelines. What God has for you is for you, and He is not late. You're not behind, you're in training, and when the training is complete, the doors will open. Think about the great men and women who changed the course of history. Not one of them reached greatness without delay. Joseph had a dream, and then he was thrown in a pit, then a prison for years, but he didn't quit. He kept his spirit right, and when the time was right, he went from prisoner to prime minister in one day. David was anointed king while he was still a boy in the field. But he didn't walk into the palace right away. He went back to tending sheep. Then he faced Goliath. Then he ran for his life. He waited. He wept, he wondered. But when the time was right, he became king, and he ruled with wisdom, because the wait shaped him. Moses was called to lead his people to freedom, but not before 40 years in the wilderness. Not before rejection, not before feeling inadequate. But when the time was right, the sea split. Miracles followed obedience. Deliverance followed faith. So let me ask you, what are you doing in the meantime? Are you using this season to prepare, or are you wasting it with worry? Because God's promise is not just that He will make it happen, it's that He will do it at the right time. That means you have a responsibility to prepare for the moment you can't yet see. Don't wait to get ready when the opportunity comes. Be ready now. Build your character now. Sharpen your skills now. Strengthen your mind now, so that when the call comes, you can answer with confidence. Because make no mistake, the call is coming, but you must become the kind of person who can handle the blessing. Because let's face it, a blessing you're not prepared for will feel like a burden. A position you didn't develop the mindset to handle will become your downfall. That's why God doesn't just prepare the blessing for you, He prepares you for the blessing. You're being stretched because something big is coming. You're being challenged because your capacity is increasing. You're being hidden because your foundation is still being built. But when the time is right, the curtain will rise, and you will not be the same person who started this journey. You will be stronger. You will be wiser, and you will be ready. So I urge you, don't rush the process. Honor the process. If you are in a season where doors are not opening, keep knocking. If you are in a place where nothing seems to be moving, stay faithful. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not doubt the power of consistent, unseen effort. And above all, do not lose heart, because the time is coming, the hour is approaching, and when it does, you will look back on this season and thank God for the delay. You will thank Him for every no, every lesson, every valley, because it made you who you are. Success is not given to the impatient. It is not handed to the faint of heart. It belongs to those who can believe in the dark, those who can see beyond what is seen, those who know that divine timing does not mean your timing, but that His time is always perfect. So plant your seeds now. Speak life over your dreams. Align your actions with your faith. And trust that what you're building in silence will echo through eternity. There will come a day sooner than you think when what once looked like a delay will reveal itself as perfect timing. And you will say with clarity and conviction, it was worth it, every second of it. God made it happen. And you'll know deep in your soul that it happened exactly when it was supposed to, at the right time. Keep building, keep working, keep showing up when no one else does, because what separates the ones who succeed from the ones who only dream is not talent, it is persistence. It's the decision to keep showing up even when the emotions are gone. It's the resolve to keep going when the fire burns low, when your legs are heavy, and when the world says, "It's not your time." You reply, "Maybe not yet, but the right time is coming." You see, the person who wins is not always the one who had the best opportunity. It's often the one who refused to leave the battlefield, the one who stayed, who endured, who kept marching forward when it made no logical sense to do so, because they knew something others didn't, that time is not their enemy, time is their ally. It is working with them, not against them, because time in the hands of God is a weapon of precision. Not 1 second is misplaced, not one delay is wasted, and in that truth there is peace. There is power in resting in the knowledge that your life is being guided, even when you don't feel it. There is strength in surrender, not the kind of surrender that gives up, but the kind that hands the outcome over to a force higher than yourself, a force that sees the end from the beginning and orchestrates every step in between. But understand this, surrender is not passivity, it is not inaction. You don't sit and wait for the miracle, you prepare for the miracle. You don't hope blindly, you hope actively. That means you read the books. You study the craft, you build the business, you train your body, you discipline your thoughts. You lead your family, you invest in your soul. And you do it all with the faith that at the appointed time the reward will meet the preparation. So don't stop sowing just because the harvest hasn't come. The seed knows what to do. It may not look like anything is happening, but underground in silence there is movement. Roots are forming. Foundations are being built. And one day the sprout breaks the surface, and it happens fast. The growth accelerates, but only because it was deepening before it was rising. The same is true for you. Your roots must go deep if your future is to rise high. Shallow roots collapse under the weight of blessing, but deep roots hold strong, and that is what God is building in you during this time, root strength, the kind of strength that doesn't waver in storms, the kind that keeps you grounded when fame, fortune, or success come knocking, because they will, but only when you can handle them, and until then, trust the silence, trust the slow days, trust the work that seems to go unnoticed. Because the truth is, greatness is not born in comfort. It is forged in the fire of obscurity. It is built in the moments when you keep showing up with no applause, no recognition, and no reward. That is where character is formed. That is where purpose becomes real. And if you're in that space right now, that silent, unseen, uncomfortable place, let me tell you, you are not being punished. You are being prepared. Because when the doors open, and they will, you won't just walk through them, you'll own the room. You won't just arrive, you'll be equipped to lead, but only because you respected the process. So you must stop measuring your progress by how far you still have to go. Start measuring it by how far you've come. Stop obsessing over the harvest and start honoring the seeds, because in due season, those seeds will grow if you do not give up. Keep your vision clear, write it down, speak it aloud, let it consume your thoughts. Let it influence your actions, let it dominate your inner conversation, because when you believe, when you truly believe, your belief creates movement in the unseen. Doors begin to creak open, paths begin to form. People begin to show up, not because of chance but because of alignment, divine alignment, and when that happens, things fall into place without striving. The job calls you back, the investor appears, the opportunity knocks, the relationship aligns, the idea explodes, and suddenly what was once stuck is now unstoppable. But not because it happened randomly, no. It happened because the time was right. And because you were ready, that's the secret, being ready before the opportunity arrives, being faithful before the platform appears, being disciplined when no one's watching. That's what God rewards. Not perfection, but persistence. Not fame, but faithfulness. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep moving forward, even if it's slow, even if it's awkward, even if you're afraid. Especially if you're afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action in the presence of fear. It is standing up when you'd rather sit down. It is speaking truth when your voice shakes. It is choosing progress over comfort. Because comfort is the enemy of growth, and growth is the requirement for destiny. So I challenge you, raise your standard, refuse to settle, refuse to shrink just because the season is hard, refuse to quit just because the progress is slow. Instead, double down, double your focus, double your energy, double your belief, not in yourself alone, but in the God who made the promise, the God who said at the right time, I will make it happen. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Heaven has not lost your file. The angels have not misplaced your prayers. God's word does not return void. What he started, he will finish, but he'll do it in the moment when your readiness and his will intersect. And when that moment comes, when destiny and preparation collide, everything will change, not gradually. Suddenly, you'll feel it, the momentum, the shift, the acceleration, and when it happens, it won't be because of luck or coincidence. It'll be because of obedience, because of faith, because you stayed the course. You must now make a decision. Will you continue to believe when there is no sign? Will you continue to act when results are delayed? Will you choose trust when you feel tired? Will you walk by faith when nothing makes sense? Because those decisions, those quiet, daily decisions, are what prepare you for the moment you've been waiting for. Not the big speeches, not the grand gestures. It's the choices you make when no one's watching, the things you do when no one's clapping. That's where your future is being built. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are being shaped into someone who can hold the weight of the promise, shaped into someone who can be trusted with more, shaped into someone who doesn't break when the spotlight hits, and that shaping, that refining is the work of love. The work of a God who does not rush what he values. So now the question is not if it will happen, the question is, will you be ready when it does? Will you have the faith, the focus, and the fortitude to step into what you've been prepared for? Because when God says, at the right time, I will make it happen, he means it, and when that moment arrives, it will not come with hesitation, it will come with sudden power, with a velocity that only heaven could orchestrate. But only those who endured, only those who trusted, Only those who refuse to give up in the darkness will be able to carry the light when it shines. So stay planted, stay faithful, stay hungry, keep building what nobody sees because God sees it. And He's not just preparing the blessing for you, He's preparing you for the blessing. When the moment comes, and the world will call it sudden, but you'll know it was right on time,